Deepfake video Rob with another one. Like I've been telling you guys, the different forms and tactics that are used. Like I said, I'm not trying to throw shade on any of the spiritual aspects, but I'm going strictly for the tangible. So I'm trying to really put addresses on this stuff so you guys know what's going on with this human trafficking, gang stalking. It's sex cults, it's body part cults. I mean, they're church cults. Man, it's a lot of people that you wouldn't think would be into this stuff. But let's just play the video so you can get a better hand.
Well, a little unusual story. I am an anesthesiologist in San Antonio, Texas. I had a girl come to me complaining of being stalked and getting voices in her head. Did a little checking. I'd known the family, I'd known the girl for some time. No history of mental illness, no drug history in the past. So I gave her the benefit of the doubt before sending her to a psychiatrist. Did some checking, did some bugging of her place with audio. She requested no video cameras, but she did allow audio and had some people driving around checking on her. And as it turns out, she was being stalked by a former FBI agent that runs a private investigative agency in San Antonio.
Now remember what I said, how these cats roll. These are usually ex-military, ex-FBI, ex-cops, ex-this, ex-that, but they still have links to fusion centers. So they're still doing business with current FBI's, current cops, current DEA agents. This is what fusion centers do. Continue.
We're breaking into her house, putting Rohypnol.
Breaking into her house, Rohypnol. This is a date rape drug. Law enforcement knows about these corporations. Facts.
In bottled water and other food substances in her place.
Now, what does that do?
Rohypnol is a date rape drug. It blocks your memory. And we're essentially sexually assaulting her, using her as a sex slave. But the interest...
Now, did you hear that? So you thinking I'm just blowing smoke up your tailpipe. These are in occultic groups working within the government. They do this for profit. You got people in churches. You got people in government running scams like this, sex slave scams on people.
That dude. Rohypnol is a date rape drug. It blocks your memory. And we're essentially sexually assaulting her, using her as a sex slave. But the interesting thing about the way they were doing it, and which gets into the electromagnetic technology, is they were breaking in, putting Rohypnol in the bottled water, and subliminally controlling her to drink where the drug was placed.
Wow.
Now remember what I was telling you, how they use the gang stalkers as the peons to do the break-ins and the planting, and the higher-ups delegated.
The electromagnetic technology is they were breaking in, putting Rohypnol in the bottled water, and subliminally controlling her to drink where the drug was placed.
Wow. Wow, that's interesting. So when did this happen?
This all happened prior to 2006.
Because this has been an open secret for some time, and it's something that's not talked about very much, although we do have articles here from the Washington Post. We've got articles from Wired Magazine. They've been talking about this here and then, and articles since the early 2000s. So you can find some articles going back earlier than that even. And we've got pretty much every branch of the military has got their own little projects, as well as commercial applications.
Oh yeah, mind control technology is one of the most common crimes, at least localized or complained about on the internet today. It seems to be...
Once again, what have I been telling you guys? I'm not knocking the spiritual part of this, but I'm telling you, this is occultic technology. Laymen's don't know about it. They've been using this for years on people. You just don't know about it because you're being dummied down with the same technology. Military's been using this. Law enforcement's been using this. Private entities, large corporations, been using this.
Projects, as well as commercial applications.
Oh yeah, mind control technology is one of the most common crimes, at least localized or complained about on the internet internet today. It seems to be getting the least amount of coverage in the major media.
Wow.
So that's why when we went to the police and had the identities of the stalkers, there's no way to prove the electromagnetic technology, but we could prove the stalking, and we could prove the sexual assault. And we're told by the police that, well, the guy doing this to you is former FBI. He's a private investigator. He stalks people for a living. That's what he does.
Let me rewind that so you know they know about these programs because it funds the police, it funds the military. They get millions and millions of dollars for human trafficking. Facts.
And we could prove the sexual assault. And we're told by the police that, well, the guy doing this to you is former FBI. He's a private investigator. He stalks people for a living. That's what he does. And she had no memory.
Sexually assaults people for a living.
Well, and she has no memory of the sexual assaults due to the girl hitting all. At least not good enough memory to bring a case. And like the police told us, it's not what you know, it's what you can prove.
Yeah, that's also who you know.
And who you know. So
Who you know.
the next best thing, I thought, you know what, I need to write all this down in a book. Of course, the names have finally been changed since we couldn't bring any of them to prison. Once the book came out, then I saw that I was immediately inundated with thousands of other people voicing the same complaints of organized stalking, of directed energy weapons attacks, burning, twitching, severe headaches, blurred vision, as well as hearing the voices of their perpetrators in their head or in their surroundings while they're being attacked.
Wow. Well, let me go down a list of some of these that I came up with. We've got DARPA has the sonic projector that was reported on in 2007.
DARPA. If you don't know what DARPA is, look it up. This is all military tech, y'all. You've been sleeping because you've been being bombarded with frequencies to keep you layman's to this type of tech. The higher ups know about it. The higher ups use it every day on you. And you have no damn idea. You can't fight something if you don't even know you're in a war. And this is what they know. This is why I try to go so hard to show you the technology.
Of course, it had been around for quite some time before then. Army has something they call voice to skull. We got the Air Force using microwaves to create sounds at Brooks Air Force Base. We got the Marine Corps with their Medusa project. We've got this.
Now, Medusa is a beast. Medusa is a frequency set only to your frequency. So 20 people can stand right next to you and they can hit you with a Medusa frequency and no one will feel the pain but you. Facts.
State Department, as reported by the Washington Post in 2005, working on voices implanted in people's heads. We've got a couple of companies, one that has patented something called hypersound. That's American Technologies. Has also got Holosonic Research Labs, also has a patented version. So the military-industrial complex has been all over this. When you see something this wide, this is not just one little research project from one organization. And this is something that 5, 10 years ago, it was being reported on in even mainstream press like the Washington Post, and yet nobody knows about this.
Well, the people who follow the internet pretty closely, and certainly the victims of this technology, know about it. But you're right. There's been a lot of research done into how to put voices into one's head. It was found long ago that if you can put a voice into someone's head, you can do several things. If I put a voice that's foreign to your normal thought pattern in your head, that becomes harassment. And the harassment over time will make you display signs of schizophrenia. When you go and tell people that you're hearing voices, we've been patterned to turnkey see that as schizophrenia and not even look to see if there's a legitimate source for it.
But remember I told you guys about this technology being able to mimic diseases? Okay.
If I put a voice in your head that's in your voice, and if you pattern a thought, like I tell some of these victims, when you read a book, you're actually hearing your own voice in your head as you read. If I put that voice in your head, then that becomes a thought, and you'll act on those thoughts, and that's how they think that some of this is being used for subliminal control.
Wow.
Once again, if I relay the frequency back in your own voice, your brain will automatically think it's its own thought. That's what you call piggybacking on frequencies. So when I send the frequency back to your brain, it's going to think it's natural, and then you're going to react to it. Yes, this technology exists. This is what they're using.
I know that in some of these articles I was reading on the mid-2000s, they were talking about how they were using it as the voice of God, as the voice of Allah, because they figured that there was something that they could use. They thought that people that they were going against, that were Muslims, were very religious, superstitious. And
that was used in the field of battle. The voice of God weapon, which is actually called SQUAD, or Silent Sound Spread Spectrum, was used in the first Operation Desert Storm. That was one of those scenarios.
Thank you. Deep fake with another one. You, roger that. Now you guys know why I'm always saying that. Salute.